Hi, I am Jody Parker, and I said I would moderate today, and I forgot to plug my phone in. So I'm plugging my phone in as we get started today. Welcome everybody to the Million Mom Movement Family Gathering. Again, I'm Jody Parker. You can see it on my phone. And I am one of the council members of the Million Mom Movement. And we decided that we were going to do this to help bring people together during this crazy time. And can you see all the period on my door back there? Didn't close the pantry door. And so I'm out of breath because I just went up and down the stairs. So welcome to everybody today. We wanted you all to be able to come in and feel like you can connect and be part of the tribe and know that you're supported through this crazy time my daughter wants to be on. This is Leora. Say hi, Leora.
Hi.
And we today decided that we were going to talk about, or that I was going to talk, we have a couple different things happening. All of us council members, we decide every week, what are we going to talk about today? How can we help people? How can we serve you? And today, I said that I would jump in and talk about how we get superfoods into our family in a way that increases the nutrient density in unusual ways that you wouldn't normally think of. Like, it's really easy to go, oh, I'm going to give my kid an appleberry power shake or a lemon green spectrum or an MVP Kids and shake it up and go. But we've gotten really, really creative in our house with different combinations and different ways that we include superfoods into our everyday life so that I, as a mom, can feel like I'm getting the nutrition into my kids that they need, but I'm not like, okay, here, just take these chlorella tablets, even though this one will do that. Do you know, can you tell them why you do that? Do you remember why you like chlorella?
You told me.
I know, but can you explain it?
I'll say what you always say.
Okay, go for it.
So my mom says whenever I eat chlorella tablets, it's when I have a growth spurt.
Do you know why? Okay, so fun fact, chlorella has something called chlorella growth factor, and it optimizes growth. And so it can be really, really good for kids because it helps to optimize their growth. And I can always tell when this one is going through a growth spurt because I'm adjusting my tripod. Because she will all of a sudden come walking into the room with a bowl full of chlorella tablets and just be like snacking on them. And I can always tell she's going through a growth spurt because it's like her body craves it because it knows that it needs it. So behind me, can you see that? I got out all my Purium. Like we literally
That's not all of our
Purium. No, that isn't all of our Purium. We literally are like that Purium family who lives this lifestyle to sort of the nth degree. I'm a homeschooling mom. I am director of children's theater. I am a Purium brand partner on the Million Mom Council movement. I am a really overt activist in a number of areas. So I am always busy and I'm always concerned about getting enough nutrition into my kids. And Purium became my saving grace because it was a way to get deep nutrition into them quickly, where I didn't have to cook and chop up a bunch of things and spend a bunch of time in the kitchen, because as a homeschooling mom, we're eating 3 meals a day and all of our snacks at our house. And you can imagine how many dishes we go through. So keeping it simple has become a coping mechanism for me. And I'm sure for many of you who aren't used to staying at home like I am, you're living that right now, like realizing just how many dishes you go through in a day when you're eating all 3 meals at home and all of the snacks, and the kids never stop eating. So I want to give you some coping mechanisms that will help you with that nutrition, but won't cause so many dishes. So you want to show them what you're making right now?
It doesn't have a lot of grains in it, but.
Well, tell them what's in there.
So it's organic coconut yogurt.
Is it coconut or cashew?
Cashew, actually. It's cinnamon and pumpkin spice. It's almond butter, MVP Kids, chocolate, and then it's a little bit of honey.
So we call that Purium yogurt, and you can make it without the actual yogurt. So you can, if a typical serving of MVP Kids calls for, let's say 8 to 10 ounces, I'll put like 4 ounces of water in there, with the same amount of powder, and you can stir it up and make it a yogurt consistency. And then depending on what we have in the house, we turn it into like a smoothie bowl or a yogurt bowl, and I'll put fresh bananas or apples or blueberries or raspberries or she just said honey, almond butter, almonds, chia seeds, hemp seeds, dried fruit, whatever you have in the house that you can throw into it that your kids will eat. It's a way that we can make really intense nutrition very, very quickly. And did you notice she said it doesn't have any greens in it? I almost always make them put, where is it? Barley greens. Barley greens is a really good go-to for a number of reasons. She likes lemon green spectrum, she said.
Only in a shake, though.
Only in a shake. Here's why barley greens is so good. It's gluten-free. So for those of you out there who have diet issues, you don't have to worry about that with this. And it is the mildest tasting green that we have. So it's really, really easy to hide in things, but it's really high in B vitamins and trace minerals, and it's just super good for you. And so I will throw it in a smoothie. I will throw it in her yogurt. I will throw it in just about anything that I can think of to increase the nutrient density without changing the taste. Another hint. MVP Kids, the chocolate or the MVP Sport chocolate hides the taste of greens. So Epigenous Kids as well. It will hide the taste of the greens. So you can add the barley grass, or behind me, I've got Kamut blend back here, or more greens. This one, I think, is one of our least celebrated products, and here's why. This one is 11 products in one. It has the Carrot Juice Plus in it. It has the Be Energetic in it. It has the Kamut blend in it. It has the probiotics and the food enzymes. It has fiber in it, a little bit of fiber, not a lot. It has the good fats from the rice bran solubles, and it has something called arabinogalactin, which is really, really good for gut health and gut immunity. This product was created for immune health specifically. It's got pineapple flavoring in it, so it's sweet. So it's really easy to hide in smoothies and yogurt and whatever else you want to put it in. And especially at this time, this is the best product Purium has for zinc. And if you've been watching the news lately, you know that they're talking about treating COVID-19 with hydrochloroquine and I can't say it, Z-Pak. I'm just gonna make it easy on myself. And zinc. This is the best product we have for food-based zinc. And food-based is always better than an isolate. Let me explain why. Your body is designed to digest things that are natural, that aren't in isolates, because all the other nutrients that come in food help you digest it and help you absorb it. So when you get those that nutrition from food, you better absorb it and your body better utilizes it. And so I think this is one of our most under pushed products right now, because it's so good in this particular case to help support immune health. And I can go on and on and on about like all the products behind me, and I don't want to overdo it, but here's what I'll say. So you can see behind me that pile of stuff. I've got tart cherry, I've got MVP Sport vanilla, can't beat this, Kamut blend, daily fiber, both in regular and caramel apple, Carrot Juice Plus, green spectrum in lemon and regular, bio fruit, appleberry power shake. You can see all that behind me, and there's really great mixes that you can get into your kids. So I'm just going to throw a couple of my favorites out there, and then I'm going to toss this to somebody else so that I don't overwhelm you with my excitement with all my different stuff. Favorites in our house: tart cherry mixed with aloe digest and cocoa hydrate pineapple. My kids think it tastes like a blackberry Izzy, which is like a fruit juice soft drink. To replace Gatorade, can't beat this in cocoa hydrate pineapple. That's what we give my son's soccer team. My husband is the coach. One of my favorite things right now, I'm not a huge fan of appleberry plain. I mix the appleberry power shake with the tart cherry, the cocoa hydrate pineapple, and if it's earlier in the day, just a little bit of can't beat this, or if it's later in the day, I don't put the can't beat this in because that little bit of caffeine, but it's this really yummy fruit punchy berry flavor that I love. You can put appleberry power shake sprinkled onto popcorn. and it'll make it almost taste like kettle corn as long as you don't put too much. It's about a quarter of a serving on a bowl of popcorn. Gives it that sweet and salty that you think of with kettle corn, but you're eating like spirulina and camu blend and rice bran solubles and all that goodness. I mix regular green spectrum into pasta sauce. If I want to sweeten things, I use carrot juice plus. Like, we've even baked bread with a scoop or two of carrot juice plus it added to the recipe, just to add a little bit more nutrition to it. So anywhere you can think of to throw nutrition, you can hide a lot of these products in anything you're making. We use the MVP Sport mixed with carrot juice plus and pumpkin spice, and it tastes, my kids call it eggnog. I think it tastes more like carrot cake. But you get the general idea. So be willing to experiment to get your kids to eat it. I have a brand partner whose kids would not drink the appleberry power shake, and I told her to mix it with the cherry and the cocoa hydrate pineapple, and they're drinking it daily now. So for me, necessary in my house is I'm going to have the core four, and I'm going to have the juice bar in a bag, and I'm going to have, we prefer the MVP Kids chocolate because we all really like chocolate. You can also use the Epigenius, either one. Epigenius has more of a berry flavor, and this is just plain chocolate. And if you really like chocolate, add cacao powder because it's a superfood and really good for you and really high in magnesium, which a lot of people are missing in their diet. And then you can add more greens into it because chocolate hides greens. Oh, and the cocoa mint spirulina, that's behind me too. You can add that into anything chocolate to increase that. I've even mixed it into dark chocolate chips and cocoa mint spirulina with some MVP Kids and stirred it all up and like poured that onto, I make vegan Rice Krispie treats, which is basically just sprouted Rice Krispie, or not, they're not Rice Krispies, that's a brand name, right? But the sprouted rice and honey, and you mix it up, and then I pour the chocolate with the mint on top of it, and I've got all that goodness in there, but they think they're getting a treat. So lots and lots of ways that you can play with it, and don't be scared. And you'll also notice that the more your kids get these greens into them, the more it's going to balance their pH and the better it will taste to them. So he finally did his dishes. But my middle child eats buckwheat hot cereal every single day for breakfast. And he puts the MVP Kids, he mixes the MVP Kids into it. And I started making him put barley grass in it. And he started with 1 scoop. He now puts 5 scoops of barley grass into his breakfast every morning. And he doesn't like it without the barley grass anymore. He says it tastes better with it because his body has adapted to getting that nutrition. So let them build and let them play with it. I don't have all those recipes written down. I just play with them. Literally, like, go to your grocery store and look at the different bars and different flavors that go together, and you can just play with them. It's very rare that you will come up with a bad combination because they all are meant, like juice bar in a bag, all of them mixed into orange juice or lemonade, and you've got fruit punch. And most kids, even kids on a standard American diet who aren't used to eating any of this good stuff, like that. So go and play with it, and then next week come back and report and tell us what you came up with, because you know we're coming up with new things all the time, and I would love some new ideas. But I know that I've probably overwhelmed at this point. I see people taking notes, and I want to pass it on so that I don't overwhelm too much. And I know that we have other things happening in the world on top of getting deep nutrition in without having to do a lot of dishes. We're homeschooling, and we're having to come up with art projects, and we're dealing with the emotions of being stuck in our house as a family. And I know that Naeva was talking about how she's handling the homeschooling at home, and I'm an old homeschooler, so I'm used to this, but she's come up with some new strategies. So Naeva, if you're ready, are you ready for me to pass it on over to you? And you can take up that part, and then we'll open it up at a wider level and let people like jump in and tell us what you're dealing with and how maybe we can help you, or if you have ideas that will help others, please jump in. And so for now, Naeva, take it away.
Hey everyone, thank you so much, Jody. That was so much fun. I love your passion about the products and just sharing recipes and fun stuff with us. It's always so great to hear from you. And we wanted to share a couple of things. I was trying to get Kainoa to join me. Do you want to join me, Kainoa? please. We did have a couple. I am getting used to our new homeschool routine here, and so it's been a little bit challenging juggling their iPads and all the different projects that they have throwing at us. So my suggestion to the teacher was, please send me all the links in one thing, because I'm trying to figure out where they're supposed to be and when they're on an iPad or when they have free learning. You're gonna show them how? Okay. So Kainoa wants to show you one of the projects we did this week as one of our art projects, because he is an artist and he loves to make artwork. And so
put leaves under it and we draw with colored pencils and it makes this, or colored crayons.
yeah, so what do? You put a leaf under the white piece of paper, and then you take a crayon and you just scribble over the top. And look, it makes the shape of it. You can see all the lines on the leaf. And then he took it a step further and decided to start coloring it in. And so that was a fun little project that we decided to do. He made a bunch of them. Some of them he outlined. So there's something that can include, you know, a little walk in nature, going outside, finding some fun leaves that have some good lines in them. So the ones that we use, I'll show you guys. We have these papaya trees right outside. And so we actually just used like one piece of the leaf. We didn't even use the whole thing. And the underside we found has better lines on it for catching it on the paper when we do that. Do you know how to do that, Leora? Have you ever done that? So you just get a leaf and like you take it like that, you put that side under the white paper, and then you I'll show you the picture again. And if you missed it, you just scribble on it, and then you see all the lines come up on the paper, and then you can color it in. And it's a fun project. You can take it a step further. The project this week was to learn about trees and what are all the ways that trees are used for humans and animals. And so we took it a step further and decided to draw the leaves and have a little coloring project, because that always makes things funner, more fun. And so I'm just honored to be on here with all of you. I know there's so many amazing people. I'm glad to see that our community is growing for our Wednesday gathering here. And I'd love to hear from some of you moms, you know, some things that are happening for you, if the homeschooling schedule is, you know, if it's working well for you, if you're having a hard time with it, if there's things that you're learning, tips and tricks you want to share with the rest of us, or also product knowledge. We always love to hear more about what's working for you and your kids. And if you have your kids with you, then we'd love to have them on as well to just share something that's happening. I am here in Kauai, and so I have wild roosters. So they're always a part of my Zoom meetings here. So I'd like to open it up and see who else would like to share with us today as well. And meanwhile, I'll see if I can talk Kainoa into doing his hula performance that he was practicing with his class earlier via Zoom. Imagine that, they actually have hula class via Zoom now. Pretty fun. So I'll see if I can talk him into showing you guys his little 2-minute hula dance practice. Who would like to hop on next?
How about if we try it this way? Who has questions that maybe somebody on the line can help you with, as far as how you're dealing with the quarantine, how your kids are doing, or if you have a story that will help be uplifting to others? We'd love for you to hop on and share. As council members, we can talk forever, but we'd rather not. So who else wants to share? Just unmute yourself, bottom left hand of your screen. Just it's the little microphone, and you just hit it and it will take you off of mute and you can just jump in.
Jody, I'll go on and share. And I appreciate yours and Naiva's share so much. And greetings, everyone. My name is Carmela Velarde. I am also with the council, new to the council. Very happy to be here, mother of a 6 and a 9-year-old. And yeah, I wanted to share a little bit about how this weekend I had a scare. It's a very real scare. I had flu-like symptoms, and I never catch the flu at all. So they may be COVID symptoms. And so I wanted to share what it is I did. I think all of us in the Purium community definitely have an arsenal of information. And I think that I was able to utilize this at its best time ever. And I feel really empowered to share this to you today. I did post on my timeline to friends and family because I feel like this fear mongering needs to just eradicate. And I wanted to be part of the solution in that when I had first heard of the COVID symptoms and understood the actual virus, I saw the symptoms, the people who were susceptible, and I said, well, I have had leaky gut with a pre-onset of Hashimoto's, but I was able to nip it with the Purium lifestyle. And I had asthma as a child, not intensely so that I had to have an inhaler, because I was able to heal it naturally through herbs. So I was able to actually not say technically I've had asthma. So I wasn't really relating to that being, maybe I would catch it. But in a way, in my way, as somebody who has been a holistic practitioner for 18 years now, I said that I wanted to grow an immunity to whatever's out there. Because guys, yeah, the quarantine's going to end, but what are we going to do after? We're still going to live on this planet where what are we doing? We're all germ factories. We're carrying everything around to one another. So I wanted to share this specifically because I'm the type that walks through the fire. I'm not afraid of things. I have been in public health. So I only stopped working with my agency for special needs a week and a half ago. So I have been out. I've been out and exposed, and I'm very aware of that. And so what are we going to do? We all need to grow this immunity. We need to grow a stronger immune system. So what can we do at a time where we have each other, where we have the want, the yearning to learn on how immune systems just play a part? Well, this is a system. A system is something where all moving parts need to be working in order for it to work. It's not just, just take only vitamin C, or megadose when you think it is necessary, but it's everything. So I had a really great article I found from Dr. Stephanie Senaff that I posted on my wall about the connection between COVID and glyphosate. I know Jody saw that too. And so I was so pleased by this article. Yes, there is a connection between glyphosate and COVID. And for me, I was like, let me get out there. I want to be immune to this because, guys, we're going to have to be immune to it anyway. And how can we do that? We need to strengthen ourselves. And we do that through a correct lifestyle. And there are correct ways to live. And there are correct ways to have our children learn to live. Let's allow them to play in the dirt. Let's allow them to be a part. Yes, we understand social distancing. We understand the things that we do need to do to not denature this virus more, right? It can't mutate to become like airborne and everything is, these crazy things that could happen. Let's listen to science and do what we need to do. So while we're home, and while I did have the intense fevers, guys, it was something. I was sweating more than I'd ever sweat in my life, like in any fever. And I was like, oh, this must be a crazy strain of flu or COVID. So I did test yesterday. So I just want you to know that. I wanted to get it when my fever did break, and oh my goodness, the chills. The chills were something like you just do not want to experience this. But I'm glad I did. In my heart, I said I was grateful. I'm grateful for experiencing all that life is, even the hard parts, because I need to learn, I need to grow, and I need to heal. And so as my husband, watched me go through those days 1, day 2, and then day 3, my fever broke. I said, okay, I'm through. And in order to do that, literally, I was not hungry. I couldn't smell. I couldn't taste. This is the number one thing that everybody who has been diagnosed or tested positive said, that this is common, no sense of smell. It's come back. Let me tell you, when your hunger comes back, and also there's a few things. When your hunger comes back, it's a great sign. Now, as women, I found most women going through COVID, if you're diagnosed, they get through it, the progression of it quicker than men. And I found that I had my period, my moon cycle on day 3, and that saved me. It changed me. It's something biological in me allowed me to feel hunger again. And that's what happens. We build blood, right? We need to build blood through food. And it was my body fighting. So as I was mega dosing Immunimax, C from nature, which is derived from rose hips, acerola berry, camu camu, and amla, which are great organic sources, natural whole food sources, not like ascorbic acid, like a lot of the other vitamin C's that are on the market. Please do take note that if your friends or family are taking regular vitamin C, take note and tell them, just take a look at ours, you know, make sure that you know, and then send them the glyphosate and COVID article by Stephanie Sinaf. Just do those little things and educate people slowly about what we have. I mega dosed that. So, you know, I think it was saying 6 a day. I took 12 a day. Immunimax, I just mega dosed everything. And my body will do what it needs to do. What was it? Handfuls of chlorella. So that was so important for zinc. That everybody's been wondering, what do we have for zinc in our company line? And it's chlorella is our very, very potent source. And of course, the only thing I could eat was Power Shake. So thank God for that. I did have a too strong reaction to Can't Beat This for my body personally. I have had history of candida, so I just want to make people very aware that when you're heating your body, because your body's going through immune reactions and you do have that background of that yeast, you just want to be very sensitive to it. So yeah, I had the eye heat and different allergic reactions, things happening. But in any case, that mega dosing for 2 days, and that's really all I could do because I couldn't stomach anything else. It got me through quicker than I thought I could ever handle on it on my own. And so with that, I'm on the other side, and the moon cycle is a great thing. We can't recommend that for men, but women have been getting through this COVID. Another thing, I did reach out, yes, moon power, to my friend, my dear friend, who's a firefighter who caught this way before others. And he has a family. I said, Will, what do you do with your children when you're home now that you might have it? You know, I know a lot of you are wondering, what would you do? Well, I was self-quarantined. And then as soon as I spoke with him after the fever had broken, he said to me, Carmela, you've been carrying this, you know, you have it. You can't quarantine your kids. We all have it. Now you're all immune. And I'm like, oh, good. Thank God. I can't be quarantined in quarantine for my children. They've been wanting to hug me. They've been wanting to, feed me. And, so those are the kinds of things that people aren't always privy to unless you actually are going through it. So I just wanted to share this bit of inspiration, and don't be fearful. Fear mongering is because people aren't talking about the solutions. And I think we have so much to offer here and a community of support that will help you, but your body is more powerful than you think. The ones who are not going to live through this are the ones who have that weakened immune system over time and are aged. But, and I do have a 78-year-old in my home. So I am careful, of course, because that is part of my awareness. And I wish you all well, wherever you are in your homes and your health, but you have the power to fight this. I'm complete. And if there's anyone else who'd like to share or comment, please do. I think the chats were going active. And if you have any, I'm curious if anyone knows anyone who has had COVID in this community. I am curious, as I was concerned of having it. I thought, who out there knows anyone who has a friend or family who has it?
You got it. I have a question. Oh, hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so like the Immunomax, you said you doubled up on that? Can you hear me?
Yes, most items of Purium, I just told my husband, make me a cup, bring it up, and with all the fluids, and I'm going to dose it as I feel my body can take it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, interesting. I just wanted to share something with everybody about the Immunomax. Is I was online and there was a Inca elder high priest talking and giving their message to people of what he was picking up, and then he was kind of going to the oracle and reading things, and then so he said, well, you could always, I never got my question answered, so he said you could always private message him. So I just happened to call his number. I was like, well, let me call this guy yesterday, and he happened to answer. And I told him, I said, so you were talking about the Amazon having a cure, and you said it was the cat's claw, uña de gato, right? That's in the Immunomax. And I said, and then you went on to say, but it wasn't just that it was going to be, it was a mixture of herbs with that. And he's like, and so then I told him about Immunomax. So I said, so I was just wondering if you could, if I could make an appointment with you to kind of, get some feedback. And he's like, sister, he says, you don't need an appointment. The vibration of that is so high. Basically, he just said that, that combination of herbs. And that was just kind of a random, I mean, it was nothing planned. It just kind of happened. But when he said on the, that it was the uña de gato with a mixture of other herbs in the Amazon that they have a cure for, I thought, that's Immunomax. So anyway, so I just wanted to share that.
Yeah, it could have been any mix of those, individual herbs that could have definitely, broken that colonization. I felt like I was overwhelmed, and my body needed a lot to fight it back. And when I was really at that point where needing a mega dose of something, I tried individually, Immunomax, vitamin C separately, chlorella. Like, I didn't take it all at one time. So I really do feel that Immunomax was a really powerful component to it turning for me. And when I did take it, it was, I believe, the night of the first fever. And it was one of the very first things I took, not even C, but, and it's what helped me get into sleep, because I couldn't sleep. I was going through the temperature differentials. So yeah, it's a very powerful formula. Thank you for sharing that. I love hearing different herbal knowledge.
Yeah.
And looking into cat's claw more.
Hey, Carmela, quick question. Did you have neck symptoms, like your neck locking up or hurting through there? Because we've been experiencing that in my family, but it's never gotten beyond that. And I've been wondering, have we fought it off? And so was that a symptom, like an initial symptom for you?
Actually, a month ago, my first symptom was sore throat for 3 days. Everything with cold, anything with your immune system, it comes through the back of the neck. Because I study Chinese medicine, and it's the back of the neck is the most susceptible. It's like the Ren dew points, right, are going right through. So the Ren is the digestion, dew is the nervous system. So those 2 points are the most susceptible and exposed in the neck, because there's the least amount of protection, just the very thin skin. So and some muscle tissue, but there's so much a reason to wear what do you call these scarves for all seasons, because you really do need to protect this very vulnerable place. And yes, during the actual weekend when I had the COVID symptoms, I had all of them. I was reading like so much about it, and I was like, yep, everything is checking. And that's what they're experiencing. They're able to see how it is all kinds. It's an array of symptoms that are very unique to this specific novel corona. So yeah, protect your neck. Mega dose when your body needs it. Would anyone else like to share? Also,
I have a question for you. I
yes.
have a question. I was
Uh-huh.
asking, you were saying that, okay. Oh, so the Immunomax should be taken right now, no matter what. and then you doubled up at the time you were starting to fever. Is that what I'm understanding? That you were taking the Immunimax anyway, and then you doubled up when you started to feel the fever? That's my question.
Yes. And so, I think the daily dose is 6. I want to make sure 6 daily, right? So it's 3 morning, 3 night is the average dose. So I was prior to having the symptoms, taking that. So I doubled that during my time of going through the actual the deep symptoms of like full on fever, full on headache, and cough. And honestly, you do feel that it does want to come up into the lung. And what you do want to do constantly, and what a lot of people in China have been explaining, is keep sipping hot liquids to get it down into the gastric intestines. And so many people have had issues with the gastric intestines because, well, yeah, it also wants to, proliferate and grow and heat and inflame. And so, yeah, we have to pass it. I'm trying to make sense of it too, like everyone else, and sharing what I do know. But Immunimax was, it helps facilitate a shorter duration of colds and flu. And the reason why, I took that as the very first in our arsenal, and I megadosed at the first night of my fever, was because of that instruction. So I do definitely read as it's indicated, because it's very true to what I feel. It does support. And because it's, it's an adaptogen, it's an herb, so it takes a while for it to react. And when you mega dose it, your body does react to it if you're taking it already. So continue taking it daily so that when it actually happens, also Virussure is that one of the other ones that take when you are having and experiencing, but also the Immunimax, you should take daily, daily.
So it's just beautiful, and I thank you for, and I praise God for you. I'm thankful that you're over it. God bless you. My heart goes out to you. Now,
Thank you.
Somebody who's got it, you, and I pray that your family's safe. But I want to ask you one last thing. I got emotional, but it's an emotional ride,
Yeah.
I would like to ask you, because exactly. I mean, I've been doing Purium products for 2 years, but not especially right now, like what's a protocol for every day, no matter what, at this time, according to your thoughts?
Yeah, I can answer, then I'm sure Jody wants to answer. Like, I'd love other people to answer also within the community. So
Yes, me too.
Yeah, me personally, like I said, Immunimax. When it came back into circulation, I said,
Immunimax.
yeah, Virussure only when you really start to feel the need to stop the colonization. When you feel those symptoms coming on, that's when I took it too. And I was like, well, this could be it. This is why I need it. However, vitamin C, I give myself very similar things that my children take every morning as well. Chlorella, first thing in the morning. Yes, C from nature as well. It's so important. Biomedic, of course. That's like the absolute. For me, an essential is the Super Amino 23, because I need my kidneys to heal. My kidneys are your functional organ to heal. So you need to always keep that well. And so, yeah, I feel the super aminos are not talked enough about for specifically immune health. But if your immune is to be strong, your kidneys need to be strong. Daily, I mean, yeah, anything green. You need to have those live enzymes going through those 4,000 feet of intestinal lining to make sure that all those little crevices are getting healing and movement and chi. And so that can bathe our organs with the blood, the pure good blood that can bathe our organs to have us function well. We are the health of our organ functions. So, well, what we can do is feed ourselves nourishing foods through Purium so that we can bathe those organs. So the green foods are miracle foods. They are.
Yeah.
So,
So the green, definitely, I do the power and the love. I mix them, and I add some beach stuff. With like she was saying, you just keep adding and a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and you got a powerhouse. Because how can you powerhouse the power shake? You just make more power anyway. But so I do these things. I have one specific question for you. I don't know if you can answer it, but you seem so knowledgeable. And if you can't, maybe somebody else that's on there. And I know this is about the kids, but I'm actually mommying myself. I'm my own kid right now. I don't know all these how to mix, so I'm really grateful now that I have this wonderful time and my phone rings in 10 minutes. I'm on. Yay! Oh, good. So thank you, mommy movement. But I want to ask you one thing. Because of this stressful situation of shocking, the kinds of numbs us, and all of a sudden the body temple does things no matter how good you're eating. And like you're eating the power drinks, and then you got sick. So it doesn't. So I've had a reaction in my body too, as healthy as and strong as it is, but it's from this trauma. And that's what I looked up anyway. I decided I'm going to be my own doctor and say it's from the trauma and from the shock. And but what is it? What products in our line and is good for anemia?
do you take it? Does anyone want to take it? Okay. Well, okay. So that's low blood, right? So we yeah, the beet, it definitely does, but we build blood through our food, through our nutrition, and we need nourishing yin foods. So what is that? Those are cooling foods. Those are alkaline foods. Our whole company is full of alkaline food options. So gratefully, you have come to the right place if you are anemic, because literally everything we have is alkaline and nourishing yin foods. So, but then there are people who, to the greater extent, have, have more issues, have issues while doing the 10-day cleanse, and they're still constipated. And I said, wow, then you have to really look at only yin foods, zero, maybe grains at all, and just take that out and just take specifically the most cooling foods, just no complex carbs, just literally greens and beans. That's all we can, and some fruits, but it's, what do we have for anemia? Goodness, well, kamut is one of our deepest greens, and that's pure, an essential ingredient. It's the Egyptian wheat grass. Kamut, I don't know if you've experienced that yet. Okay, that's the one product that the company was started on. And
how do you spell it?
Kamut, M like Mary. UT.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah,
that was that one product. Tell me more about that product you were going to tell me.
it is one of the most alkaline wheatgrass strains there exists on the planet. So I'm very proud to, there's a picture of it with Jody. It really is nourishing. That is, if you want to heal from something, especially with alkalinity, which is what anemia really needs, is alkalinity, is
okay.
But also the power shake, because it's building blood. It has some grains though, so you might want to go with the ones that have less, like the barley green is also nourishing yin. A lot of women who are lactating, they need that, so that's also good for anemia, as well as lactation. Fluids, you're just trying to build fluids, can't beat this. It might be heating though. Sometimes I'm very sensitive with the intensity of things too, because it has some energy aspect to it. Even though it has beet, you might want to pair it and add something in it that slows it down to just temper the speed. I'm very, very sensitive, as you can see. It's not just like the ingredient, it's also like you can balance it. Beets are great in general because it is red. It's built for blood, building blood. However, it can be heating with the other formula components in it. Anything else, Jody, you can think of specific?
Yeah, so this is something I've actually personally dealt with because I had Lyme and a whole bunch of co-infections and had been breastfeeding forever and had no Ferritin stores left and was vegan. And so was really having issues with anemia and with absorbing my iron. And so a couple things that I do every day, and a lot of what you were just talking about, like we're totally on the same page, you and I, but I, in talking with my natural doctor, like created this smoothie that I eat every day that made a huge difference for me. So I start my day with a double shot of barley grass juice on an empty stomach. And I don't eat anything after that for at least a half an hour to make sure it gets absorbed and gets into my body and can get that alkalinity going. And then my morning breakfast shake, you can't make this up, is 2 scoops of MVP Kids, 2 scoops of Can't Beat This, 4 scoops of Kamut Blend, scoop of Biofruit, scoop of Carrot Juice Plus, a scoop of more greens, and 3 tablespoons of hemp seeds, a small handful of walnuts, and a serving, which I think is 2.5 tablespoons of cacao. And I mix that all together and blend it all together. And, the ionic elements. And that was the big thing that made the big difference for me because it has the fulvic acid in it. And fulvic acid, is in the biomedic because it helps you to get things out of your cell, but it also helps to get things into your cell. And I wasn't absorbing what I needed to absorb. And having that fulvic acid with all those trace minerals in there helped me absorb that into my body. So I had 3 dropperfuls of the ionic elements. Now that's extreme because like I said, I had been breastfeeding forever. And so I really, my kids are far enough apart that just as soon as one of them would wean, I would get pregnant and start the whole product over, or whole system over again. And so I had to rebuild that. And I had the Lyme. And so some other things that might help. The spleen is the organ that builds your blood, and it is also an immune organ. And because my immune system was under such attack because of the Lyme and the co-infections, which I've healed, by the way, but the beets are super, super supportive of the spleen. And I think that really helped get my immune system back into center. And you can tell how bad your anemia is by the really dark circles I had. They were bad. They're well last night, but if you've really dark circles under your eyes, that is sometimes it's not. Dark circles isn't just low iron, but it is a symptom of low iron. It can also mean yeast or chronic virus infections, but definitely low iron is associated with the dark circles under the eyes. And getting all of that just deeply into you. And so I did it all with food, but all those different combinations of greens and all that. And I saw somebody ask about love a little bit earlier. Love is a really good kind of all-purpose. It has a lot of that goodness in it, and the mushrooms in it are going to be really good for our immune system. The love was too much for me. It would push me over too much. And so what I wanted to say, Carmela was talking about the heat of the beets, like it has the caffeine and the other stuff in it, the ginsengs. And so my best piece of advice for everybody, but specifically with the anemia, is listen to your body and listen to what it's telling you, because what works for me is not necessarily going to work for you. What works for Carmela is not necessarily going to work for you. So take this general knowledge and what we're saying about listening to the cooling and the heating and the yin and the yang and how to support the different organs. And there's so many different systems, whether it's Chinese medicine or homeopathy or naturopathy, there's different theories out there. And listen to what we're saying and then put it together yourself. And you can tell by the taste, Like if you really need trace minerals, the ionic elements are going to taste better to you than if you don't need them. They're going to be really bitter to you if you really don't need them. So listen to what your taste buds are telling you, listen to what your body's telling you, see how you feel afterwards, and play with that, because like the love is amazing. But if I do it too much, it makes me sick. Like something in it just doesn't, I think it's because I'm sensitive to molds and it has a lot of mushrooms in it. And that's a genetic thing. So listen to that. And I think, you know, why I talk about taking the MVP kids and piling all this stuff into it is because I can't take the Biomedic every day because it pulls my minerals out. And I was already so mineral deficient because of nursing for so long that if I take it too much without the ionic elements, it messes me up. So I have to take them together. But I'm weird and super, super sensitive. Like Carmela was saying, like, I'm really sensitive. I am super sensitive. But my best piece of advice is always going to be listen to your own body. Once you find that balance, you will crave what you need. And your body will tell you what you need. If you're craving chocolate, you're low in magnesium. If you're craving salt, oftentimes it'll mean just a mess up of your minerals, or it could mean if you're drinking lots of greens, you may not have enough sodium because greens are really high in potassium and you may not have enough sodium. So listen to that. Listen to those cravings. Craving starches usually means a lack of protein, or phosphorus. I'm trying to think. There's other stuff, Carmela, you could probably jump in and help me with this. But cravings of specific things will tell your body what you're deficient in. And you can go look it up. There's like memes out there and stuff like that you can just Google, like what to crave. What if I'm craving X, what does it mean?
So let me ask, may I? Thank you so much for all that great information. I tried to keep up with you. You have a lot. I don't have cravings. I don't remember having cravings. I have been on this quest of trying to put together fruits and vegetables in my body as a thing. If if I'm hungry, I just want to eat. I don't really crave. I mean, what's on the menu today, kind of thing. You know, I mean, I do my routine here, my love shake. I do my bio. I do my super aminos, and then I have all the other little tiny things, your beet juice, and I have all those other things. And I've already made myself a really good shake that I absolutely love. The love shake, and I put the beet juice, and I put this other thing, and I put this other thing, and this other thing, and all that stuff. But I haven't put the more greens. I just put the hemp seeds. I eat walnuts. I don't know what ionic elements are. I have no clue what that means, but that's okay. I'm just asking you.
They're trace minerals, but I think what you're saying to me, what I'm hearing you say to me is I don't have cravings, and it's probably because you're eating what you need to.
Oh, but but something came up though 3 days ago that makes my body. I don't want to say it all over the thing because but I have a symptom. Not I got a symptom. You know how she was talking. Excuse me, Aunt Carmela was saying all of a sudden I'm starting to sneeze and doing this stuff in my choke. She had symptoms. I have symptoms, and the symptoms just came. They just came, and I was like, wait a second, I've been eating, doing everything. I must not be doing enough for the low blood, I think. I don't know. So that's why I was kind of, I don't do Corella, and I haven't done this Immune Max. So that sounds like, and I will get the more greens. I mean, sounds like those are the things that are, maybe I'll add those in. And and then you talked about cooling and heating. I have no clue what that means or how that works, or how do I know when she talks about cold foods, cooling foods? I still don't know, but that's okay. She did say fruits. She did say barley greens, beets. I'm trying to take notes at the same time. Glad I got a pen. We don't even have pens now, and papers like type, or record. But I couldn't record it all. So I'm just kind of you've given me something to look at. I'm grateful because we can't learn it all in one day anyway. And I don't want to take up your whole time on me when you're supposed to be talking about the kids.
Well, is there somebody else that wants to jump in, has questions, has something to share that Like she just said, none of us
Yeah.
feel the need to fill this time. So who else out there? What questions can we answer? What are you experiencing? How are you doing emotionally? What's happening out there in the world? What's happening in your states? Like, I'd love to know that. Like, I'm in Colorado. I can tell you that they're keeping us closed right now, and that there's a whole bunch of us that are going to start fighting that and trying to find some balance before our economy completely crashes, because so many people are losing their jobs. And our family personally has been affected by that. So what are you experiencing where you're living, and catch us up? What's going on around the country?
I have another question. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
There. Well, yeah. So I have another question. However, yeah, I am a physician assistant. I was in the front lines. I got home a couple weeks ago. Wanted to make sure I was clear, because I have a grandson here whose lungs are, he's been in and out of the hospital, and is young. If he's 4 and he's been in and out maybe 5, 6 times, but with RSV, bronchiolitis and asthma, you know, what comes after you get RSV. So anyways, I got him on the Aloe Digest right now. I was told that that's really good for the lungs, to help cleanse them and all. And of course the Epigenius kits. So I'm trying to, you know, mix different things to get him to do that. But the MVP works pretty good. I picked that up last week on the call. But the question that I do have is, I introduced a nonprofit to Purium, and they have health promotoras, who go out into the community and educate people about, you know, food as medicine and different things. Well, it started as an organization to work with HIV. So I'm wondering, when some of these single moms, if they wanted to join Million Moms movement, I understand, is it a process? Because a couple have applied, but how long does it take, or how do they know if they get selected, and what is the process for that?
I'm looking at Rachel, like, are you going to jump in, Rachel?
Yeah, no, sure. So we are actually having our community call this evening. We have it every third Wednesday of the month at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard, and 2 p.m. for our Hawaiian people. But that's where we will kind of go into more details, because right now we're at the hour mark. But just go on our website.
To that call.
I'm sorry?
How go on what website? How do I get connected to the call?
Oh, so we'll you can just follow our social media. If you follow us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Naeva, who is our social media coordinator, she posts all of our upcoming events and calls, so that will get posted.
And would it just look for Million?
Yeah, so even if you just use the same link for this call, that's the same line that we're going to use tonight for our 5 p.m. call.
Oh.
So save, we would.
And it's 5 p.m.
Go ahead.
What time? 5 p.m. What Mountain Standard or Pacific time? What time is 5 p.m.? Where are you at?
We are, well, I'm in California, so I don't know. Jody, do you know what would it, it's 2 hours ahead, right?
Yeah.
So that would be like
5 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Mountain, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern.
There you go. So that's going to be tonight. So we're going to go into more details about our scholarship, about the new things we have on our website. We just posted a transformation
Awesome.
submission there on our website. So if you've seen a difference in one of your children and your husband and yourself and your adult child, you can submit it there and we can highlight you on our social media. You know, eventually maybe we'll have a contest, but for now it's all on our homepage. Everything is there. The recipes, we have some of Jody's recipes there. I'm getting set to put up one of Carmela's recipes. There's other recipes that we have. there's the scholarship. You can apply for the scholarship. We're really trying to refocus how the scholarship is shared with people, because we want it to be very business centric. So that's just something, we're going to discuss in detail tonight with our chairwoman, Stephanie Dawn. She's going to lead that call. And hopefully all of our council will be there as well. But yeah, come on our call tonight at the times we stated. Follow us on social media, and go visit our website. There's a lot of useful tools there, more information. We love connecting with our community, so that's why we're having these Wednesday calls, and we'll continue to have them. You know, and we'll see how long this goes on. But for now, I think we're getting a really strong feeling that, you know, we're all here to support one another, and I find it so useful and valuable just to connect with my who have become my dear friends. So just a shout out to all the council members thank you for all that you do.
I wanted to hop on for just a second. This has been a really great informational call, and I just wanted to make sure that you guys just took a quick look in the comments and copied and pasted the information there if you want to participate in Imperium's talent show. The entries are due on the 22nd in just 1 week. So I wanted to just give you guys a quick little reminder while we have a whole bunch of you here. And if you have any kiddos, it's always fun to include the kids in our talent shows. So just wanted to throw that out there. I also shared it in the Million Mom Movement official group. So you can also find the info there if you can't copy and paste it now. So just want to let you all know that. And thank you all for coming on and spending time with us this week.